Oh, okay. Hello, hello. I have a lot I want to get to in this stream. Obviously, we're gonna be playing Honkai Star Rail later. We are just about to begin 3.7, and I am scared of it. But before that, I wanted to chat a little bit because I did something pretty fun, as you can see from the title. Okay, so here's the debrief. I went to Miku Expo last night. It was a very last minute decision, actually, because I knew the concert was coming for a couple months now, or whatever, when the tour was first announced. Um, but as much as I wanted to go at the time, I was a little apprehensive because I knew the tickets would be rather expensive. And I was very much in a state of like, I want to go so bad. But we looked like seriously at the tickets about 2, 3 weeks ago, for the first time. Because we, again, were like giving it a little bit and looking at the tickets then, I was kind of hoping they'd be cheaper or whatever at that point. But it was still like, $100+ which I guess in terms of apparently a lot of concerts, I'm not a huge concert goer. That's not the worst you can do in terms of tickets, but it was still pretty expensive, especially to me. So I was like, I don't know, maybe we'll wait. We'll wait a little bit. We'll see if they'll go down in price the closer we get to Miku Expo. Cause like I know I've heard that some tickets sometimes like day of or like a day before whatever you can find cheaper tickets. So I was so hopeful. Maybe this was just me being naive, but I was like, maybe we can snag something cheap and good if we just wait a little bit. You run the risk of losing out on like all the seats and like not having any available, but I was like, I don't think it's gonna be sold out, sold out. So there's a chance. There's a non-zero chance that we could do this. But so we kind of just let it ride for a little bit. I do order my merch at that point because I'm like, whether or not I'm going, I want my merch. I'm gonna get my Miku merch. But so it's the day of, it's yesterday, and we're like, all right, we gotta revisit this now. It's now or never. Are we going to Miku Expo or not? And we checked the ticket prices again, and they're pretty much the exact same as when we had looked before. So I was like, fuck. I'd been hoping they'd get a little cheaper, like just a little bit. The wild thing to me was that, like, it was like me and one other person going, and anytime we looked at like two seats right next to each other, they were like wildly expensive just per seat. But single seats were like way cheaper, but I didn't want to go alone, you know? I want I'm not a very much a concert person in general. Like, I like plenty of music, but I've never felt the strongest desire to see a lot of performers live. I'll go to a couple. I have a couple more planned for this year, but really saying I have a couple planned for this year is the most concerts I've been to in a long time. I just don't go to them a lot. So I was like, seeing the ticket prices, I was like, you know what? I don't need to go. As much as I enjoy Miku, as much as I love her, I don't need to see her in concert. At the end of the day, she's just on a screen. I can watch YouTube or I can watch clips of it. It's fine. Oh god, I was trying so hard to logic my way out of spending like over $100 on this concert. I was like, that's too much. I don't know if the like ratio of enjoyment to cost matches up enough for me. So I was like, it's fine, whatever. But my aunt, who I was looking to go with, she was like, no, I think we could keep looking. And she kept looking at some of the tickets, and she found ones that were a decent amount cheaper than the other ones we were looking at. And we were like, suddenly seeing that, I was like, shit. Now I had just written it off, but now this became more of a real possibility because these tickets were now within my budget. And I was like, I'm still going back and forth, still debating on it. And I made the mistake, or perhaps fortunately, I decided to look at like other people's TikToks and stuff of the concert to be like, oh, maybe I can like just see what the performance really looks like revisit those. And I very quickly started to swing back around. I was like, oh, fuck, wait a second. That actually looks really, really fun. That looks really cool, actually. Sadly, that looks awesome. So I decided, fuck it. I was like, all right, let's go. We'll spend the money. Fuck it. I have to see Miku. And so we bought the tickets, and it was only after buying the tickets that we really saw where exactly the seats were. I knew they would probably, they definitely were not front row with how cheap they were. But saw a look at the tickets and realized that they were about as high as you could go in the stadium. Like, let me put it to you this way. The tickets were labeled, they had like an acronym next to it. It was something like TWRWR, something like that. We could not figure out what this stood for. We were like, TWRW, like, what does that mean? We were Googling it, couldn't figure it out. And then we get there, and we later reveal that it seems this stood for tower. And yeah, so we were basically in a tower above all the other seats, and seeing that, like, I could already tell how far away it was just looking at the little map of the seats on my phone, and immediately I was like, oh, fuck, was this like a waste of money? Like, I want to go, but I also want to enjoy it and have a good view. Did we just get like terrible seats that won't even have a good view? Like, is it even gonna be worth it? My aunt, as incredible as she is, was very much like doing her most to hype me back up. She was like, it's fine. We're gonna be in the building with Miku. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So I just had to get back in the headspace of like, all right, I'm gonna be in the building. I'm gonna see Miku. That's all that matters. But I was still a little apprehensive at this point, like still a little unsure of like, was this smart? Like, is this gonna be worth it even? But I mind you, again, this was like very last minute. I'm talking about like about 3 hours before we would have had to leave to get to the venue on time is when we bought our tickets. So it was like right up before, basically. So I spend the next couple hours, like, kind of getting ready, planning out what I was going to wear. Like, I didn't have anything special prepared because I really wasn't sure if I was even going to be going. So I just threw together the cutest outfit I could find and did some decent makeup. And then we took off. We were on our way to Miku. And we get there, we park, walk over to the venue. And the arena has this big, like, there's the arena, there's a plaza around it, and then there's some buildings around that, right? We like get up close to where the venue is, and we see a long line before we've even properly reached the venue. And we were like, what could this be the line for? Like, surely, like, we were like, this obviously isn't the line to get in. Like, there were Miku cosplayers and stuff, but this is so, like, far from where the actual venue is. Like, this isn't the line to get in. This is probably, they have, like, a merch stand out here. Like, yeah, that's probably for merch. So, like, we're walking further down the sidewalk towards the arena just to, like, scope things out and, see if, like, where else might the line be starting, because the doors opened an hour before the actual show started. We got there 15-20 minutes after the doors were supposed to be opened, so obviously there's a lot of people trying to get in the place, but, it seemed pretty reasonable to think like, oh, there's probably not like a huge line at this point. They're, they've been letting people in for 20 minutes now. Surely, right? And we're walking around, we get to the plaza, and then we see more line, but it's like leading directly into the stadium. And we like look at that line, and then we kind of follow it, and then we see it kind of keep going, and then we see it curve around a building towards the direction we just came from. And it is at that point that we realized, yes, that line we saw back there was indeed to get into the arena. It just went from the arena, kind of curved a little bit, wrapped around a building, curved back along a length of sidewalk, and then made a turn down another length of sidewalk. It was a crazy long line, and I was like, I guess I should have seen that coming. So we have to walk all the way back to the end of the line that we were just walked by to actually get in our spot. Thankfully, I would say the line moved decently fast. Like, there's plenty of times where you're just standing there for a little bit, but you stand there, you'd move forward a couple feet, wait a little bit more, and that like happened fairly regularly. So at least like they were moving with some efficiency, it felt like. Like I knew it was gonna take us a second to get up there, but I was like, okay, this doesn't feel awful. I just gotta wait a little bit. But it was getting a little nerve-wracking because it was getting fairly close to 8 o'clock. Like, I would say we actually got in line, again, like, it's like, doors open at 7, it was probably like 7:20 to 7:30 that we actually got in line. Um, and it was reaching, like, 7:50, and we were still in line, and, like, we had still seemed to have a decent ways to go, and I was like, "Oh, man, at this rate, like, we're not gonna be in there before 8." And we were like, "Hopefully, it's not, like, a hard start at 8." Like, I feel like a lot of concerts, like, yeah, they say they'll start at 8 or whatever, but really, like, they take a little bit longer than that, they're still setting up and, like, waiting for people to get settled, so, like, hopefully it didn't start right at 8. That's what we were thinking as we were still waiting in line, that huge ass line. But then again, like halfway through, when it's at this point where it's 7:50, then the line just starts to keep moving and like moving quickly. Like we're not stopping anymore. We're just continuously walking. And I'm like, okay, the venue staff has given up on doing this slow and steady, and they're just trying to fucking get people in there, get those butts in their seats, because the show is about to start. So we're just like, just going through, we get up to there like way quicker. It was, I don't know, maybe I'm just an anxious little person, but like I got intimidated when we actually got up to the venue. Because one, there was like a security like person who like was walking down the length of the line and he was like saying some sort of instructions, but I don't think anyone around me really grasped what he was saying. He was something like, oh, seating, gate 4, go da blah, and we were like, what? Like I feel like they're saying something important that pertains to me, but I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. What? Could you slow down for a second and explain? And he just kept going and kept shouting the same thing. We were like, all right, guess we'll figure that out. And we actually get up to the stadium doors, and I was like shuffling through, and we get up to security, and like they're just like just yelling orders at people. Like they were like, come on, you can come through, keep moving, you can go there, come on, keep walking. And I was like, oh my God. I don't like this. I was so intimidated by all of it. And it was just so many people moving. And I was like, am I doing the right thing? Going the right places? I don't even know. But, I mean, besides being very scared and intimidated by the event staff, we get up to scan our tickets, and the lady, she was like, okay, so to get to your seats, you're gonna go in here, you're gonna walk down this hallway, you're gonna turn right, turn left, there's an elevator, and immediately that was too many instructions for me. Like, my brain does not retain verbal instructions, especially like directional instructions when they're just like spoken at me like that. Like I need you to give me a map or something. I need you to give me directions like you're speaking to a 3-year-old. They're like, okay, honey, you're gonna go here. In fact, let me hold your hand and just guide you there. And I'm like, perfect. Thank you so much. But no, she's just like, okay, go there, go there, go there. And I'm like, oh, okay. Thank you. And we get in, we're walking, and immediately we're lost. There's just so many people walking through there. And it's not even like it's a maze exactly in there. It's fairly straightforward, but I did not feel like we were like making the turns she was talking about. And like we're just walking for a little while and we are like, I don't know, have we gone too far? Is this even the right like way we're supposed to be walking? Finally we get to like something, we see something ahead that says elevator lobby. And we're like, oh, okay, so we're supposed to take some elevators. So is this it? Is this the right elevators? And we're like, let's ask. There's like another event staff lady in that elevator lobby. Looks like they were like, it was another place to enter, I think. So she was like also scanning tickets. Um, and we go up to her and we're like, hey, sorry, we're trying to find our seats. Is this the right place to be to get to these seats here? And she's like, oh, no, you actually, so go back out the way you came, go back like straight up that way and then make this little turn and you'll see another elevator lobby that you're supposed to go to. And we're like, oh, shit, I guess we walked past it. Okay. So we like start walking that way and we see like another event staff just standing there and we're like, maybe we should like double check just to like make sure we're going the right way and make sure we're clear on like where exactly this elevator lobby is just so we don't miss it again. So we go up to this lady and we're like, hey, we're just trying to find our seats. Here's our seats. Is this the right, like, are we going the right way down this way? And she's like, oh no, go back the way you came. There's an elevator lobby right there. It'll take you right up. And we're like, what? That's the one we just came from. Why did that lady tell us to go this? What? So immediately incredibly confused. We were like, why the fuck did that lady tell us to go back this way? When now this lady is telling us to go back that way. So we were like, okay. So we walk back the way we had just come from again. And we get back to that same elevator lobby and we're like, okay, I guess this is the right one then. And so we like hit the elevator button and these elevators at the venue have like attendance on them. So like, you know, someone who you just like basically I guess to like help people find like the right level they're getting to where their seats are. So we show this guy our tickets and it's like, we're trying to get to these seats. And he's like, oh, you're in the wrong elevators. You got to go back out that way and go this way and then make a little turn and then it's right there. And we're like, okay, so it was the other lady that was wrong. Like, oh. And at this point, we have gotten like 3 different sets of directions, it felt like, but we were just getting all turned around. So we were like, okay, thank you. So we walked back out of the elevator lobby, back into the hallway. And I think it was at this point that we could hear the concert starting. Like it had just turned 8 o'clock. And I was immediately like, oh, fuck, we're missing it. We're missing Miku. I can hear her sweet voice. I can hear the intro playing. And like it was like not a big deal because they had just mostly had the intro bit, a little like intro video that played, but I'd wanted to see the entire thing, you know, I wanted to see the intro too. So I was a little disappointed to be missing that like first little bit there. So like we gotta go. We gotta get to our seats. And my aunt was like, chill. We're not gonna miss Miku. And I was like, we're missing Miku. We gotta get there. Come on. So we are walking down that same hallway again. And we keep walking. And then we finally do see another elevator lobby. Like we had just like walked past it, I guess, when we were initially looking for where to go. And we get to this one, the elevator is taking forever to arrive. The other elevator was like already on the level, I guess, and opened instantly. This one is taking forever. And again, I can hear the sweet sounds of Miku off in the distance, and I can hear the people cheering for the Vocaloids, and I'm like, I'm missing Miku. I'm missing Miku. Finally, the elevator arrives. We get on, show this lady, like, hey, we're trying to find our seats. And she's like, okay, I'll take you up there. So finally, we have confirmed we have found the right elevator lobby. Hooray. So we are going up. And this is just a side note, but I kind of love getting, like, backstage gossip, I guess you could say, on stuff. Or not even gossip, because this was, like, just backstage tea or backstage seeing the goings on of what's going on back there because we get on this elevator and then like at another stop, two like event staff people get on the elevator with us and like one of them has like a cart, like it looks like food or something, it's wrapped in tinfoil. And they're like, "Ah, the freight elevator's down tonight, so you're gonna be seeing a lot of us come through this elevator," talking to the attendant, and they just start like talking a little bit about that. And that's a full side tangent that doesn't have anything to do with Miku, but I got a little bit of a kick out of it. Just seeing the goings-ons of the event. I think I'm just kind of fascinated about like what it takes to hold events like this, of seeing what it's like for all that event staff. I don't know. Something fun to me. But we dropped those people off and then we're heading up to our seats, which again, pretty much about the highest you could go. There was like 5 levels, I think, that I saw on the elevators buttons. And I'm pretty sure we were heading up all the way up to level 5. It's whoops. But we go up there and the lady's like, "All right, have a good concert." And we're like, "Thank you." We get off and it's just like this little room that we're let off into. There's no signage anywhere. So I'm looking around like, where? Okay, what now? And there's 2 sets of doors. One looked like it led to the stairs. So we were like, "Okay, I guess we just take these other doors. Hopefully this leads us to our seats." We go through those. It's just like this windy little hallway. I'm like, all right, guess we follow this. Where exactly are we sitting? What? Go follow that hallway, get to another set of doors. It says like Sweet C or something like that. And I'm like, ooh, sweet. That sounds cool. And we enter in, and it was not the kind of space I was expecting. Like, you get in there, and there was like the like main part of it was like a little floor with some tables and chairs. There was a little like bar area to sit at. There was like kitchenette with like a full on like microwaves and fridge and stuff. I did open that fridge after the concert just out of curiosity to see if there was anything in it. There was not. But it was a whole little like setup just kind of made for hanging out. I felt a little VIP. I don't know, maybe that's just me coping again with how high up our seats are. But I don't know. It felt kind of cool. It felt like a pretty chill space. Um, but like our actual seats were like you had this area and then like slightly below that, you had like the stadium seats of this section. And we get to our seats. We didn't miss that much. I think we arrived like I think basically what we missed was like the little introduction video and we arrived partway through the first song is what it seemed like. Um and immediately I was locked into the vibe. I like it I don't know what it was. It's just as soon as I sat down, as soon as I was hearing the music, seeing the stage, seeing the crowd, hearing them going crazy, I was like, this was the correct decision to come to this concert. I was immediately so glad. I was so happy we decided to go right then and there. Because I was like, this is amazing. Is everything I would have wanted out of a Miku concert. Considering how high up we are, the only major downside I would say is that some of the details did get lost, like looking at the screen, couldn't see like all the details of like the outfits or the models, whatever. Um, and even when we like zoomed in with our video, it was like, we got some decent video, I'd say, especially for how far away we were. But even then, like, it's not the best details could be seen, but we still got a full view of, you know, the dancing, the theatrics of it. We could see the full view of the stage, the lights, and my favorite part, like, besides the actual Vocaloids, one of my favorite parts of the performance, and like this is an advantage that I saw of being high up like that, is that we could see like the entire crowd pretty much laid out beneath us. Like the only section we couldn't see were those people like directly below where we at, but like everybody else spread out below us. We could see the whole crowd, and it was just something so cool to me about seeing all those people with their pen lights, moving them around, dancing with them, waving them in sync to the music that just really was honestly, I'm gonna say beautiful to me. Like, it was just such a cool view. I half the time I was watching the Vocaloids, and kinda half the time I was watching the crowd, watching their energy and how they were responding to the performance, because I just was so fascinated by it. And I don't know, I guess I just, like, highlighted the fact to me that everyone in that stadium had come together to enjoy this one thing, and we were all moving in sync in enjoyment to this particular thing. And it was so cool to see, like, during fast songs, you could really see everyone, like, moving their light sticks super fast. During slow parts, the, like, little wave of them, like, moving slowly to the beat. The color changes were cool, like, with each new song or new Vocaloid coming out, you saw, like, the shift across the crowd from, teal to yellow, whatever it was. And I don't know, I was so, like, interested by all of it. I'm honestly kind of glad that we sat so high up, and I wouldn't mind, like, sitting that high up again to just, like, really be able to, like, take in the full effect of a concert like that, of Miku Expo. It was really honestly cool. Um, and yeah, the, like, actual concert itself, I feel like a lot of it was just a blur. Like, I still took it all in, I was enjoying the hell out of that concert. But, like, I was enjoying it so much that it just all became, like, one big thing of, like, joy and excitement to me. Because again, I locked in immediately, and I didn't have a pen light of my own. I sort of wish I did. It looked like a fun thing to have, but by the time I had ordered my merch online, they were sold out of pen lights already. So I was like, "Ah, damn." So I don't know. I felt like a little FOMO, I guess, like seeing everyone with their light sticks, but not like terrible. What I did have though, what I brought along with me was my mini Miku. I had won recently this little Miku plushie at a round one, and she's like, I think my smallest Miku plushie that I currently have. So I was like, oh, she'll be easy to bring along with me. And I was waving her around like crazy. Instead of a light stick, I had Miku, and I was just throwing her around in the air all about me. Oh my god. She was headbanging, she was swaying to the songs, she was doing the most. I was, like, a little worried. Again, like, maybe, like, irrationally, but, like, part of me was, like, slightly afraid that I would wave her around so hard that her, like, pigtails or head would just, like, fly off the doll body. Because her pigtails were going nuts, like, as hard as I was waving her around, her pigtails were just flying around her. I was also along with that, I was afraid of, like, her slipping out of my hand when I was waving her around, so I was clutching her so tight. This plushie was like squeezed in my grasp so hard because I did not want her flying out of my hands. I was just like terrified of like her slipping and flinging out and someone in the crowd below me getting beamed in the head by a stray Miku. And that wouldn't have been great. Like, yeah, it's a plushie, it wouldn't have hurt, so they'd be fine, but I wanted my Miku, I did not wanna lose my Miku, that's the most important thing. They'll be fine, it's a plushie, I didn't wanna lose my Miku. So, that's what I was using instead of a light stick. I still feel like I got the fun effect out of it. A lot of times I was doing my own thing, like, just waving her around as I please. I did, like, sometimes, like, try and match what other people were doing with their light sticks, like their particular rhythm. Again, like seeing them all below me, it was easy to see like all like the crowd's movements. So I was, occasionally just trying to like mimic them. But a lot of the times I was pretty much doing my own thing with her. And I hope I wasn't annoying to the people sitting around me because I feel like in our little section of people who were high up there, they were, people weren't like cheering that often up there. There were definitely times when the people around me cheered. Like I will say the one of the people sitting in front of us when Kaito came on, oh my god, they cheered so loud. I was like, "Oh, we have a fan here." Hmm? But like I don't know, I feel like I was doing a lot of cheering. I didn't expect it. Let's say, a naturally fairly quiet person. So I don't like yell or cheer that much, even at like events or whatever. But I was screeching between songs and like whatever bits I could. So hopefully I wasn't annoying. But the whole venue was loud. I feel like I mixed in there. Yeah. Oh, it was so incredible. What else? I will say, as I was banging my Miku around, my arm was hurting so bad, and but I had to keep it up for Miku. I was like, the other people with their light sticks are doing it. I can keep it up for Miku. I also made my thigh hurt because there was a lot of times I was just sort of banging her against my thigh, just as I was bouncing her around. So I was like, but I did take plenty of pictures and videos. I tried to lock in and just enjoy the concert as is, but my aunt, again, who is incredible, she, was mostly just there to be there with me. And she's not a huge fan of Miku, like, personally. She's mostly just coming along with me. She did say later on that I was like, "What was your favorite party concert?" And she was like, "Just watching you like go crazy. You didn't lose energy for like barely a second." And I was like, "Ah, that's Miku energy, baby. I could fuel myself off of that for weeks. That's how we do." But she like was my designated like picture and video person for the most part. I took a couple on my own camera, but my like camera from my phone is not that good. Like, it's just like, yeah, I can take fine pictures, but man, not the best. Her camera, though, is pretty good. Like, she can take some great pictures of stuff. So I was like, okay, you're gonna be taking pictures and videos. And I later apologized. I was like, I hope I wasn't being obnoxious because there were several points where I leaned over to her and I was like, oh, take a video of this, or oh, can you like get more of the screen? Like in the video, like, oh, take a picture of that. Yeah. So I was like sort of directing her around just a little bit. She said she didn't mind, so it's okay. But yeah, so because of her, I have some pretty nice videos. I put a few up on my TikTok already. Um And I plan to put up some more as well of my like various videos and pictures. Not all the ones we took. A lot of them I'm just like, yeah, that's just for funsies. That's for me. But some of them I thought were especially cool, so I wanted to share a few of them. But yeah, I don't know. I loved everything about the performance, I'd say. I loved even like I'm not like I love Miku, but I'm not a Vocaloid aficionado. So it's not like I know every single song or everything about it. So there were definitely songs I didn't really recognize at the concert, but they were all great no matter what. I was jamming out to the ones I knew and the ones I didn't know exactly the same. Um, yeah, and there was a bunch of cute little outfit changes for some of them. I really liked that. It was just 10 out of 10. Oh my god, I could go on about all the little things I enjoyed. Um, I will say one particular thing. Drop Pop Candy is one of my favorite songs, and I thought the screen, like, there were like little decorative screens around the main one, and I thought like that one was especially cute. I really liked um how they like did the surroundings of the screen. I really thought like a lot of that like added a lot to the performance and like really fit each song. Uh the one thing I do kind of wish, and I've seen other people say this, is that during most of the songs, the vocalists are just kind of on a black screen behind them, so there's not really any background. But some of them, they did have a background, and I really wish they would make a background for every song. I feel like it added a lot to it and made it feel a little bit more immersive. Like, I don't know, there's a lot they could do creatively with like this medium, the fact that they're on a screen like that. I feel like they're underutilizing their background potential because like the ones they did have looked great, and I just felt a little bit more. What is it? It just made things feel a little bit more immersive, really. Um, Again, I still liked it even when they were on the black screen. I think they should really Miku Expo people, the Vocaloid executives, please take my official pitch. Make cute backgrounds for all your songs in the concerts. I promise you it will add so much to their performances. Please and thank you. Okay. But yeah. One other thing I did really like whenever this happened, I loved Miku doing crowd work. It just was just so cute to me. She was like, "Thank you all for coming." And I was like, "Yes, Miku, you're welcome. Oh my god, you're so welcome. Anything for you, Miku." Yay. I don't know, she was just so cute, and something I think about is like seeing the crowd's reaction to her doing this crowd work. It's just like obviously like we all love Vocaloid, but we all like are there knowing like this is just a computer program for the most part, like she is for the most part, she is she is a computer program, not just for the most part. But like we were all there knowing like, Miku is just a program, really. She's just, someone programmed a video of her doing this crowd work, but everybody is still, despite that, like cheering at everything she says and responding to her. And not to get too deep about Vocaloid, but I just thought seeing the crowd's reaction to her really highlighted, like, more than anything, what Miku means to a lot of people, that we know this is a program, but we respond so well to her, and we love what Miku and the other Vocaloids represent, that even so, we will be cheering and applauding and shouting our praise to her. I just thought that was really cute to notice during it. Um, yeah, I honestly think, like, this was the first time I've really been surrounded by so many fans of one thing I like. Like, I go to conventions with some regularity, and so obviously at those, I'm surrounded by lots of fans of lots of different stuff. But this is probably the most fans of one thing that I love that I've ever been around, and it was really an energy like nothing I felt before. And I was just so excited and so pleased to be surrounded by it, to like look out and know like pretty much everyone here is all here because we love this one thing. And it just made it feel so incredibly special to me. But yeah, the concert was incredible. We had a really good list of songs. We get to the end, and I see, stage goes dark, band members leave the stage. We all know she's coming back. We all know this ain't the end, Miku. So everyone's shouting, encore, encore, encore. And they let us sit for a few minutes in suspense before Miku bursts back onto the screen. She's back again, and I was expecting like maybe one or two more songs as the encore, but she did 3 full extra songs, which I was very pleased by. I was like, oh my god, give me all the Miku. I was so sad when the concert finally ended. It like it was probably like if hour and a half to 2 hours long, probably like just shy of 2 hours by the end of it. But it felt so short to me. I think that's just like how much I was enjoying this. It just felt so short. Um, but yeah, the Vocaloids were incredible. The live band did absolutely amazing as well. Oh my god, they were so talented. Um, yeah, and afterwards we were walking around a little bit more, and like before the concert and after, um, one thing I noticed was that like obviously there's a lot of cosplayers there. Um, But, like, I was just, like I felt like I really took them all in after the concert when more people were just sort of, like, mingling, not just, like, in line or trying to get to their seats. Like, when everyone was just mingling in the, like, outside of the venue, in the hallways and whatever, I just saw exactly, like, how many Mikus there were and how many other Vocaloids. Like, I'd say, like, there's obviously a lot of classic Mikus, but there were cosplays of alternate Miku outfits. There were plenty of cosplays of the other Vocaloids. I was like, I I did see, I think it was a Wario Miku as well as a Garfield Miku there, which was pretty great. Um, One thing I found a little surprising was that there were some Honkai Star Rail cosplayers there, which I at first I was confused because the first people I saw were like these two people. They were wearing like regular, Miku merch outfits, but they had a Robin and Sunday wig on, and I was like, "What the Robin and Sunday? What are you? What are you at the Miku concert? What the hell? What is this?" But then it clicked for me that we had that Miku collaboration recently. Like, Miku did there was art a while back, but then Miku did a song with Honkai Star Rail. So I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. And then as we were walking around a little bit more, I saw just a straight up like there was a pom pom cosplayer. I think the person next to them was Stell. Um, I think there was one other person who, like, was in the Honkai outfit, but I can't actually remember if they really were and who they were right now. It was just we were kinda just moving through the crowd at that point, so I didn't get the best look at them. But I was like, "Oh my god, there's more Star Rail cosplayers here." I wasn't expecting that. Like, it made a little sense thinking about, like, the collab recently, but I didn't expect to see Star Rail cosplayers there, which I thought was very fun. I was, like, really glad to see that. Now what I want, though, I would love for someone to do, Pom Pom Miku. That's the thought I had. Like, I didn't see anyone really combining Miku with the Star Rail. They were just kinda straight up Star Rail cosplayers, which, again, looked great, but I was like, "Oh, man. We need Miku Pom Pom now. We need, like, Miku X, Honkai Star Rail, like, cosplays for real." I think that would be adorable. Um, but yeah, it was so cool seeing all the different cosplays people had. And almost everyone was wearing some form of Miku merch. I kind of wish I had like a t-shirt or something for Miku. I really don't. I have my Miku merch is mostly my figurines and plushies and like some other little things like that. I don't really have a lot of Miku apparel. But now I kind of want one because I was like, ah, I'm the only one not wearing Miku. Although I guess technically I was wearing one thing Miku because I mentioned my mini Miku that I brought along with me. I also called mini Miku Titty Miku for much of the show because when I was not actively holding her or whipping her around as my impromptu pen light, I had her stuffed in my bra, so she was just hanging out in the front of my shirt with just her head poking out of it. So I called her Titty Miku for most of the night. My little itty bitty Titty Miku, and I would take her out to take photos and wave her around and stuff. But otherwise, she was just kind of hanging out in there as we were entering the stadium, and then when we were leaving later. I think I kept her in my shirt the entire ride home and only took her out when I actually got back and was getting changed. She was comfy. She was just hanging out in there. I still had the tag on, and that did dig into my boob a little bit, but I mean, otherwise it worked out pretty well. But yeah, I think that's I think that's it. I think that's a pretty full recap of what my Miku night was like. I miss it already. Oh my god. I never let me logic my way out of anything. Just let me be stupid and spend my money on my nerd crap because I will have a blast. Oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't allow myself to talk myself out of going to the concert because it was so good. But yeah, I absolutely, like, already miss it. I keep watching, like, some of the videos that we took of it and looking at my photos and stuff and just being like, "Oh man, I wanna be back there. I wanna be back with Miku. I wanna be in the room again." It was so good. And yeah, definitely whenever the next concert comes around, hopefully they do it relatively near me again so it's easy enough to go. Cuz I absolutely want to go to this concert multiple times. I I will absolutely go to any of her tours that I am able to go to. Ah, I fucking love Miku, man. Yeah. I'm trying to think real quick if there's anything else I want to share. But I think that's pretty much it. I could just keep going on about how much I enjoyed it, but that's about it. If I do think of anything later, I'll just share it as an extra little tidbit. But yeah, that was Miku Expo 2026, the Eros Ambrosia experience.